Now it is just about turkey day, and I've got one of the best turkey recipes out there, and that is using the Hay Grill Hay smoked turkey kit. Now, as you can see, we are a little bit ahead of you. Yesterday, I took this 15-pound turkey. I used the apple spice turkey brown kit with a gallon of apple juice, and we brined this thing for 16 hours in the included brine bag. One of the coolest things about this kit is it gives you everything you need except the apple juice, and you can even use water if you'd like, but I'm looking for that extra flavor. Now what you don't see is we've already removed this from the bag, from the brine, drained it off. We just have to pat dry this thing and get started. Today I'm gonna show you exactly how to smoke this turkey using the Hay Grill Hay smoked turkey kit. Now let's get started. Like I said, we've already done the brining aspect of it, but what is next? Well, these little pop-up thermometers, I don't care if you're cooking them in the oven, I don't care where you're cooking them. If you're using these, you're doing it wrong. Get rid of them, get yourself a thermometer. That's step number one. Step number two, one thing that I like to do is start out by just cutting off any of the excess fat or skin or anything like that. And as you can see down here in the cavity, there are some large chunks of flapping skin and fat. Overall, this turkey is pretty much prepared. We do have to pat dry this and remove some of those excess herbs. So let's go for it. Using some paper towel, pat dry this bird off. Rub off any excess herbs that you see from that brine that we did last night, but it's okay if you leave a few behind. Now, one thing that I can already tell you is that this bird smells amazing. That brine has a great aroma. I can smell the apple, I can smell the herb, and I'm very excited about this bird. Now the next step is to tuck the wings back. So you've got your wings here. Essentially what you want to do is bring them back behind the shoulder blades. And don't worry, you don't have to really force them too hard. But it's going to look something like that. Now you're going to need some butcher's twine or something here to tie the feet or the ankles together. Spin that around here to show you. I've just got some standard kitchen twine here, and I'm just going to do a little cinch on this one. And we'll tie it in a little knot here. I'm going to take my knife and cut the excess back. And just like that, we've got this bird tied up and ready for some seasoning. Now, to get started with the rub, I'm going to flip this thing over and we're going to start with the back. Now, there is some more juice that has accumulated on the cutting board here, so I'll wipe that up and I'll give that back one more pat down just to get any excess moisture off that may have gathered back here. Now, you're going to need a binder. Today, I'm using an olive oil binder. I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to drizzle that into my glove. And starting with the back, I'm just going to give a nice little back rub. You know, everybody likes up in them shoulders, around the neck. And we're not looking to make this thing super saturated. We just want it a little tacky with that olive oil, and that's going to help that rub stick. But let's get started with that Hay Grill Hay smoked turkey barbecue rub. Now this is also included in that kit. Like I said, it's got everything you need except the apple juice and the butcher's twine. And you don't have to use apple juice, you can use water, but we wanted that full flavor effect. Go ahead and sprinkle this rub, get a good healthy coating. Got it flipped over, let's add a little bit of olive oil to the front. All right, back at it with that smoked turkey rub. And we're looking for an end result that looks just like this. Now I've got the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro running with a good fruit blend in the pellets and some hickory in the smoke box at 225 degrees. We're talking a 30-minute per pound cook time. We're gonna be smoking this thing for about 7 to 7.5 hours. It's time to get it on the grill. Over here at the smoker now, running at 225 degrees, the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro, loaded up with some fruit wood pellets and some hickory in that smoke box. It's time to get that turkey in. Now, because this is the Woodwind Pro 36, And since the heat source is a little bit offset, we're also going to offset this bird away from the heat source. Now, typically I do a lot of my smoking on the upper rack, but because the thickness of this turkey, it's got to go down onto the main rack, no problem. Now you handled that turkey, you moved that turkey around, you may need to touch up the rub. Now is the time to do it while the bird is still nice and wet, and since you just got it on there. So I'm going to touch up a little bit of the rub that I may have disturbed. Now while I'm in here, I've got my Camp Chef professional probes. These come with the Woodwind Pro. We're gonna be using them to monitor temperatures in both breasts on this turkey. We're looking for the thickest and deepest part. We're gonna use these, get them in place. Now that we've got them in, let's get this lid closed and let the smoking start. Now, we've got about 7.5 hours. We're gonna keep an eye on this. We've got a few more steps along the way, so we'll be sure to fill you in as we go. All right, this turkey's been in here for a few hours now, and the rub has set up. What you're gonna wanna do is take some spray avocado oil or spray olive oil and just do some quick mists throughout about once an hour, just to make sure that the surface of that turkey does not dry out. That's simple. Now you're gonna notice that the bird here has turned, and that's because we were cooking about 8 degrees faster on this side than we were on here. So we rotated this a little closer to the heat source so that we caught up on temperature. But now we are 150 degrees or higher in both breasts, and it's time to get out some of that Hay Grill Hay cranberry barbecue sauce. Now we're gonna drizzle this on. You wanna start doing this at 150 degrees. It's gonna be kind of like a glaze. And I've got my silicone brush here just so that I can make sure we get everything coated nicely. Now I can already tell that this glaze is going to give an incredible presentation on that final Thanksgiving Day turkey. Now we've got this thing glazed up, and you can see it is looking beautiful. We want to push this thing till we get about 160 to 165 in both breasts, because we are going to let it rest, so we'll get some carry through with that. But we're going to keep monitoring these temperatures, and we're going to apply this a few more times as it starts to thicken up. All right, I'm going to check the temperature here on this Hay Grill Hay smoked turkey in the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro. We're looking for above 160 in each breast. Now on her card it says 160, pulled at 160. It's cooking pretty evenly, but they are a few degrees off, so I want to make sure that we cross that 160 threshold for sure on both sides, no problem. Typically I push mine to about 165, but this thing here is probing at 166 and 164. It is time to pull this turkey out. Getting these turkeys out are a challenge. So if you have some big spatulas, sometimes I like to use tongs to grab the legs and a spatula to get underneath, but it's a challenge. I got my cutting board right here, and I'm going to try and get this turkey onto that cutting board. Now we're gonna let this thing rest for about 20 to 30 minutes. We're gonna get it over to the table. We're gonna cut it up. All right, this smoked turkey is done, and it has taken about 7.5 hours, just like the instructions said that it would. Now granted, as long as you're monitoring that internal temperature, time really isn't a factor. But for me, it was about 30 minutes per pound on this turkey. Now it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's time to try it. Now, before I go butchering this thing up, I'm actually gonna start by just trying a slice of this breast. I wanted a good piece of that skin. It's nice and sticky. The skin seems to have stayed on the turkey pretty well. Let's give it a try. Now that is an awesome turkey. Very complex when it comes to flavors. In fact, that cranberry barbecue sauce is so good, and it's not like anything that I've ever had before, and it pairs so perfectly with this turkey. I got a good smoke flavor. I mean, it's been running on that Camp Chef Woodwind Pro for the last 7.5 hours. I've been running apple and hickory wood, so we know it's been smacked with some smoke. The finish on it is nice and sticky, but like I said, it's complex. That rub, that brine, everything about it just makes for a great turkey. I gotta try another piece here. That is absolutely delicious. Now to be honest, I'm a dark meat guy, so I better try a little piece of that dark meat. Beautiful smoke penetration. I hope you can see that on the outside edges of this turkey. One of my favorite turkeys that I've ever made, and I typically don't make whole birds, but I love this recipe, I love the kit, and I love the fact that everything comes with it, exactly what you need to do this Hay Grill Hay smoked turkey. And if you're looking for an awesome turkey, then I suggest you snag one of these kits before they're gone and get one made for yourself and your family. And if you're looking for more incredible recipes, including more turkey recipes, then I suggest you check out this video right here.